What's up, New England and beyond? Wednesday night in the Room podcast, and we are continuing with our musicians in New England and Rhode Island, especially. And tonight we have a singer-songwriter, probably plays about 20 instruments. I'm very, very excited to have this dude on. We're going to be talking tonight to Benjamin Quinn. What's up, my man?
Steve,
welcome,
how we doing?
Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
My man. One thing I gotta say: get close to
All
that
right,
mic.
I'll choke up on the mic.
Yeah, you have a sexy voice, and we need to, we need to hear that. So, my man, this is the second week in a row that I've had, musicians. I had a whole band in there, a trio of young heavy metal, aspiring heavy metal stars in here. And we're gonna get all walks of life of musicians in here, and I'm glad to have you, my guy.
It's great. Yeah, I saw some of the clips last week. Those guys got a lot of talent. Love to see some young musicians, and appreciate what you're doing as a media mogul in New England, so.
Well, my man, I'm expanding a little. We talked a little bit before this, and that's how I got to you. I threw an ad out there on, a couple of Rhode Island, musician pages there, group pages. Live in Rhode Island, something like that, and bands playing around the area. When I threw the ads up, I thought I was gonna get spammed. I thought they were gonna spam me right away. Like, what's this guy looking for? It was like, because I put up, hey, looking for musicians to come on the podcast. No one knew me from, you know what I mean. They don't know who I was, and people started checking me out, and I guess it seems like a good idea, man. Is there anything? Have you Is there podcasts out there that have musicians on? Like it's thin, if any, right?
Well, that's why I was so interested in coming on because one, I check out the pod, and I'm not a big martial arts guy, but I can appreciate what you're doing, and I want to learn more about it, kind of just get the word out about what we're doing here, and you're doing that for your sphere, so I figured the musicians got to do that as well.
Yeah, it's cool because we can cross promote here, and having you guys down here. There's fighters out there that are musicians, and they would love to get to know you guys. And I'm sure there's some musicians that are fight fans, and if they're not, I'm gonna make them that way because I talk a lot about fighting, and I relate musicians and their growing pains and their journey to fighters because there's a lot of struggle in there to make it.
Absolutely.
Or you know what I mean. So, my man, let's get to you and your background. I've listened to you on Spotify. We talked a little bit before we went on air, but you have incredible, really great stuff as far as what you're doing as Benjamin Quinn on your solo projects. I listened today and I was like, this is fantastic. Let's talk about your background and how you got into music and where you got started with it.
Sure. Well, I'm a native Rhode Islander. And, moved away for a few years and, really got into music in my early 20s and started playing in bands when I moved to Providence. And, the momentum has just been accumulating. And now I'm in a couple of different projects. I'm doing the solo thing, Benjamin Quinn. I'm also in a band, Apollo's Eclipse. Shout out Apollo's Eclipse. And... we do a lot of different type of stuff because there's a big market for music, but lots of different niches, right? So you got to find what your niche is, maybe fill multiple niches. It's been a learning experience, and sometimes I feel like I'm a little over my head, or I'm going into unfamiliar territory, but that's where I like to be, I like to be a little out in the open.
Yeah, a little nerves gets the creative process going. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I would imagine you're a multitasker if you're doing a ton of stuff like that in the the musical field, being able to jump around there. You mentioned the band you're in. Is that sort of the same style you're doing as your solo, your solo stuff?
No, and really, I first got my start writing songs and performing with the band Apollo's Eclipse, and with the group, there's just certain limitations, right? You know what they say, like if you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together, right? So I find with the group, there's a lot of different input from the other members, and both support and struggles that come with that, right? And we're a pretty heavy band, got a lot of like loud guitar and like some crazy organ going on, so I was started writing songs that were a little bit more chilled out, and I thought that it might be good to do a different project, and that's where the Benjamin Quinn, Benny Midnight came to fruition.
So you guys are on a little on the heavier rock and roll side as far as the original band that you're in.
Correct.
Not too heavy though, right?
No,
Like,
not too heavy.
As far as a little saying heavy guitars. What do you compare that band to as far as what's out there, or
I would say similar to it's got similar to the Doors, Santana, kind of a '70s rock type of thing. But it's not like singer-songwriter style, right? Not like a James Taylor style. And I started writing some stuff on the guitar, and I was like, well, this is kind of a different sound, So I think it would be good to, just explore another area of that creativity, right?
How many musicians in that band?
That's 4-piece. So I play keys in that. I actually
Okay.
don't play guitar. And we got so keyboard, drums, bass, guitar.
Now, as far as keyboards, is there other sounds you throw? Like, so you could play you say Santana, that there's a lot of stuff going on in some of those bands right there. So you can, keyboards adds a lot of, space as far as where you can kind of bring the band, right?
Absolutely. Well, one, it's got so many different options as far as the sound, right? You can do the classic piano, organ, whatever. And as far as the instrument, it's got the most range, right? Because you go all the way, you got 88 different notes that you can hit. But I started playing guitar about 2 years ago, and I really, really took to it, just, playing, accompanying myself, and that's kind of been the most recent chapter of the musical journey.
Now, as far as your solo in the recording studio, do you play multi instruments in the recording studio? Do you play strictly guitar? Do you play piano? What's your deal when you go in the recording studio?
So when I go in with the
band,
band,
all right, go ahead. I was going to ask you both, band and with you.
Yeah, there's two processes there. With the band, we practice a lot. We rehearse weekly. Have a gig a couple times a month. So we're pretty tight with the songs. We know what the songs are when we show up at the studio. So we track them live normally.
Okay.
So the engineer's there. He sets everything up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, play it through. And then there's some overdubs and stuff that go on after, but the crux of the song is recorded, in like 3 or 4 minutes,
With it's so it has a live feel to it. Because
Absolutely.
there's no we'll just record the drums through this track and then you put the overlays of the guitar on it. It's all the band playing except for, throwing that, like you said, a little spice and flavor.
Yeah, a little razzle dazzle. Throw a little razzle dazzle on there.
Now that must be pretty cool being in the recording studio, and when you're able to throw that razzle dazzle on there, when you're throwing actually like the frosting and the candles and all that other shit on the cake, right?
Yeah.
Can you overdo it? Like, is there a process in there when says how do you agree when it's all done and the layers are on there and you're like, all right, this is what we're putting out there?
That's tough. I mean, one thing with that style of recording when you go to an engineer is that there are, monetary and time considerations, right? So it's not free, and it takes time, right? So you have to balance that where it's like, all right, this is enough, And more is not always more. You know what I mean? So you have to find the balance of, just enough, which is very difficult. But that's why it's an art, not a science, right?
And sometimes you may creation and it's art. So sometimes you get the best things out of there. With in a time restraint. You know what I mean? Don't touch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you can mess with it a little too much, and it takes away that authenticity and that live feel you're trying to get.
Well, so with the other style of recording that I'm doing, which I've kind of figured out a DIY setup at my house and have started releasing songs that I've just produced on my own. And that you can really get in your head because it's just me, I'll lay down like a drum track, with a drum machine and like a little rhythm guitar. And then I start adding stuff, like bass, keyboard, like vocals, backing vocals, And because there's no time constraints, because there's no monetary constraints, I'm just, I really have to draw the line. It's like, where is enough,
Yeah, you take that, if it's on a laptop, you're taking that everywhere, you're playing with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned drum track. I mean, drum tracks. That's, that's a lot in itself, right? Just
it's a drum machine.
So, yeah, but you're putting the beats in, like, I've never used a drum machine or, made up, I'm not that, I'm a drummer. I'm just a drummer. I just hit things,
Drum machines are kind of sacrilegious for some drummers.
But can you put something in there that, like, you got a program, like, the beat you're putting in and the fill-ins, or is that some kind of, it does that a little for you in a way, or is that all you putting that in there?
I got this vintage one off of Amazon, and it has like a couple hundred different tracks already programmed in, and you just like pick one, pick the tempo, let it rip.
Yeah, and then once you stop playing with the bands or something, that's when it comes alive, and it's it's not just so straight. You can add the stops or whatever you want to do with it.
Well, the thing is, it's important to have that feel of a real drummer, and then later, if you wanted to have a drummer like play on it, it's in time. There's already a drum track on it, so they could easily just play over that.
Yeah, know what I mean? And just add a little, once you're playing on it and you have a drummer in the room, you're like, oh, you can add this in there, stuff like that. It's a fucking great, just creative process. As far as with the band, is there every, button heads and stuff like that, as far as, or is it you guys pretty much get along?
It's pretty copacetic, as far as things go. Like, there's definitely, creative differences at times, because we all come from different, like, musical tastes. You got, like, some pop punk guys, some, like, prog rock, like Queen, that type of influence. I like a lot of soul and like R&B music, so it's all coming together. But I think that's really the benefit of playing in a band, is that you get the sum of the parts is greater than just like an individual's one idea, right? Because everyone has their little flavor that they add in.
Exactly. So that's what makes you original, and
doing something new.
If you're lucky enough, or get that, there's a ton of bands that are I think good enough. They never get that chance to be heard, and that's a lot has to do with it, right? Like, that's a struggle to get heard. I mean, you can know that, damn, I got a hit in this friggin' in these 4 songs, you know what I mean? And but how do I get people to listen? Or that's a project in itself, right?
Well, that's as much of a part of it as making the actual music, is promoting it and marketing it, right? Which is, especially in the digital age, right? It's like people like to complain, like, oh, Miles Davis or, Jimi Hendrix didn't have to make a TikTok, but it's like, well, that's good for us, honestly. You can throw up a video and got people seeing it from all over the world, even if it's not that good, like, that's just how the technology works.
You get the people that will critique it and stuff. They're still listening and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, as far as that, do you you have the band? we'll get to the solo, and I think you said you play covers also. You
Yeah,
play
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But as far as the band, you said you had a booking agent for the band, or is it just for you as a solo artist?
Well, the agent handles mostly the cover gigs. So,
Okay.
So she has the connections with the restaurants and bars that
Okay.
hire musicians, and they're typically not looking for anything too original. You know, they want songs that people are familiar
eat dinner,
with,
yeah.
and sing along to, and that's all well and good. That's not what I want to do all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but the reality is, you know, if you want to make money from playing music, there's a couple ways to do it, and that's one of the ways is to play Freebird in a bar, you know.
Now, when you do the cover thing, is it just you? You're not in a full band playing covers, or are you?
Yeah.
So wait a minute. All right. So you're in the original band.
Yeah.
You're doing your solo thing,
Right.
and then are you in a totally different band that does covers, or?
I am in a different band that does covers where I just play. I'm like a sideman, and then I'm also doing covers as like Benjamin Quinn.
Yeah, as
well.
acoustic kind of thing, like
Yeah,
you know, in restaurants, like you said,
Yeah.
that you could play. But the original band and the cover band, full band, there's not any of them players. You got any players from the original band and in the cover band or anything like that?
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes it will happen. You know, the agent will be like, "Hey, I got a gig on such and such a day. You know, can you put a band together?" And you know, we all need to pay the bills. You know, and we all play music, so
Yeah.
I'll reach out to the guys and be like, "Hey, you know, you up for this gig in Brockton? You know." Actually, I'm not gonna name the name, but you up for this gig in Brockton? You know, it pays, and then next thing you know, we're out in some bar in
Brockton.
playing at 8 to 12. You know,
They didn't have chicken wire on the.
No, I got some stories.
I know Brockton it's a fighting town. A lot of boxes.
Yeah.
A lot of boxes in Brockton. But as far as what I imagine, the original band is probably a couple of you know, I don't know if you have old men or you know a little mix, but they must be doing little side things themselves, right? Or,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, staying busy.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the truth is, you know, an original band can only play out so much
Yeah.
in one area, you know, and then, you know, ideally once a month. Like more than that, you're kind of oversaturating.
Yes.
But I don't want to play once a month. I want to play like multiple times a week. You know, I love performing, so you got to find different outlets to do that.
Now, when you're, I would imagine when you're doing your acoustic cover stuff, you must throw in one of your originals in there every so often.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is something I wrote. Check this out.
Absolutely.
It's about da 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 da. So that must be pretty cool. To throw them in there. I mean, that's what you know. I was in original bands when I was growing up. You know, heavy stuff, and you know, but we used to throw a cover in there. You know, I mean, it was the opposite thing. You know what I mean? We used to throw a cover in and get the people that were kind of bored of the original thing in there.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I mean, that you can throw in, you know, a spice of your own stuff in there, and it's probably kind of along the lines of what you're kind of doing when you're doing your acoustic sets, right?
Yeah, I mean, the songs that I perform at that type of cover show are the songs that have really influenced me as a musician, you know, because I pick some stuff that I know people will like, but there are also songs that I like, you know, so there is some similarities in that style. And people will, you know, really respond well if you're, you know, putting a lot into it. You know, if you're putting your heart into it and you're playing from the heart, then people will respond. Although there have been some cold crowds, you know, but what are you gonna do?
That's it. What are you gonna do? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I mean, that's part of being professional. I mean, you got to be able to, you know what I mean. But you're getting paid. I mean, unless you're in the, I mean, original band, you can't be making, you know, much. If you're making, are you paying the play? You know what I mean? But
well, you can make money with the, you know, with the merch and that type of thing. But from the door, you're not really going to be making a lot of money.
When the original band plays, I would imagine, like, how is that booked in, what kind of venues do you play? Is it like you travel with them? Like you said, you know, ideally, not ideal, but you like to play no more than once or twice a month, unless you're traveling. Then you
Right,
can play
right,
a
right.
little more.
Yeah.
But you know, has the band traveled at all, or is it basically you staying kind of in the Providence outskirts of Mass, you know, areas?
We've been staying mostly in Providence and gone a bit to Eastern Mass, Western Mass, Boston. But no, mostly in Rhode Island. And we're doing pretty well in Rhode Island. Got a good fan base. Got some pretty well attended shows. People are listening to the music. We're coming out with an album. It's all recorded, ready to go.
Is that something you, when you gave me your bio that I put out there, is that the release thing that's going on at the end of the month or something like that? Or is that your solo
Well,
thing?
and this is where it gets a little messy, you know, because I
You got a million things playing.
I got a lot going on. So I'm recording music that's being released on the 29th. So that's already set up. I put it in the system. It's coming out.
Yep.
The album, which I will say was a lot more time and effort, and I think is generally like, that's like my best work, or our best work, you know. That's coming out at a date to be determined in 2024. But hopefully by February it'll be out. We're just we're finishing up the mixing and the audio mastering and that type of thing.
Is there any way, how many, there's 4 of yous in the band?
Yeah.
I can get 3 is down here down the line. If you
Yeah.
guys, you know, the drummer can sit over there, but
He can sit on the
he doesn't
throne.
get a mic. He's, you know, drummers get the bad rap. He can share
Yeah,
this
he's
with me.
used to it
He can
anyways.
jump in with me, but I can have 3 of you guys in here, at least the singers and the guitar players, man.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, down the line. If you know, next, you know, after the holidays, after you release it or whatever, you want to come down and do a couple of acoustic songs with the
That'd
band.
be great.
Tonight you're gonna play a couple of you know, solo songs.
Got my guitar.
If you want to, you know, throw one up there now, or you want to talk about one of the songs, or
Yeah, let's
something
do
before
it.
you play.
Yeah. So I'll play a song that's it's called Digital Affection, and I wrote it. You know, we were talking about technology and how technology is, you know, it opens up the world, right? But then, you know, when the world is so open, but then you're just like staring at a little screen for hours on end, then it's not really so open, you know? So I was trying to just articulate how I felt about, you know, my own relationship with technology and social media, because it can be a time suck and a distraction. I think that's a pretty universal experience for people, you know, that has both positive and negative aspects. So anyways, here's Digital Affection. I got the world at my fingers till it all goes up in smoke. Longer that I linger, more it feels like one big joke. Blue light in my eye, though it blinds me for a while, till I see the darkness coming through your crooked smile, yeah. Digital affection, can you feel the love? Natural selection, you let them choose for us. All right, there you go. That's a little sneak peek. I didn't want to do the whole thing.
Wow, that sounds good. I put the headphones on, like the AirPods, just to hear it. It sounds pretty good on there. My God,
Yeah.
dude, I have to say, how the hell, like the songwriting and the stuff, like when I was listening on Spotify, your solo stuff, and I gotta listen to the band, I thought it was all in the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But the songwriting and the hooks of the songs that you have are really good.
Yeah, I appreciate
Like
it.
I can, like that's like the category you're looking to hit
Mm-hmm.
as far as where you think you're, that is
Mm.
with your music. I mean, you want everyone to enjoy it, but who is your kind of like?
The demographic.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the part that we were just discussing, which is the promotion and the marketing, and it's like, well, I'm still figuring that out. I don't know exactly who likes the music. Although when I play it out, people generally have a positive reception. But I think I'm kind of in with this type of stuff, kind of in like a country type of thing. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say that without trying to insult you, because once you mention country or something like that.
No.
I mean, there's a ton of friggin' talent and money, and it looks like that's country, like the stars, or they come up quicker.
Yeah.
And you definitely have that vibe to you. You can do it both. You could do it all. You said you're a little heavier in the band, which I definitely have to listen to and throw it out there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna look at that on Instagram too. We're gonna check out that stuff there, just so we know what you're talking about and the different, styles that you play. But like, the shit's good, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. Like writing songs, how does that happen? I mean, you know what I mean? Does it just come with melody, like you're playing something on the piano or guitar, and you start humming it, and then you just put words to it? Like, how's that happen?
Well, yeah, it really comes from, I'll just hear like a phrase or, have an idea of something that I want to articulate, and then it'll just come out, and I have a notebook where I write down all of the ideas. And then later I'll kind of do the deep work where it's like, all right, how do you put this into an actual, like, coherent piece of music, So it's all about capturing those little moments of inspiration as they come, because they do come, to me at least. I think a lot of people will, agree that, like, you'll have an idea that kind of floats through your head and you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But if you don't write it down or you don't do anything about it, then it's kind of gone with the wind, But once I started recording my thoughts and then later, like, coming back to them and digging into it a little bit, that was when the songs started coming out.
Yeah, my ADHD would never let me write down ideas. I would just be like, oh, there's another $1 million one. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't. But, I mean, you seem like, you're out there, a lot of energy out there, but you seem like kind of a laid back, kind of mellow guy. Is that the way you are in, like, in your personal life, real life? No, I'm a fucking crazy motherfucker, Steve.
No, I try to be relaxed, I do have sometimes antisocial tendencies, like anybody, where I can be kind of rude or short, or even kind of explosive, where I kind of like just get triggered by something and get pissed off, but that's part of kind of feeling those feelings and trying to make some sense of them as part of being an artist as well. So
well, I have your Instagram up right now. So,
oh, you got it up?
Well, I got yours, and then we'll go to your band, the original band. And wherever you want me to go on here, I'll just get it to you so you can see.
Yeah, so we got a lot going on
here. Let me get over here. So there's the screen. So I don't know if you want me to make that smaller so they can see a bunch of stuff, but I can enlarge whatever you want me to. So
why don't you go down to this one?
Right here?
No, to the right.
This guy right here? Is that you?
Yeah.
You want me to hit that?
Yeah, hit
Check
that
it out.
one.
All right, let me. Is there a sound to it?
See, this is an example of some other stuff I heard. Moving around lines. This is coming out later. I ain't worried about you. This is kind of different.
I wasn't watching. I gotta listen. I gotta watch because.
We write our own lines here. I ain't worried about you. That's my girl Shannon.
Dude,
Shout out to Shannon.
Shout out to Shannon. Where's my camera? Dude, that's that country feel right there.
Yeah. Well, that's the type of that's got the drum machine going on. So that's just like the steady beat in the background.
Is this the band right here, or is that the cover band right here?
Actually, this is a song. Yeah, you'll find.
No, this is an open mic. I just jumped up and started fucking playing with everybody. What is this?
You'll find that's a post I did with the band. So yeah.
All right, so I can hit this one.
Leaves are coming down.
This song's coming out on the new album.
She gives me all that loving that I know she can stand. Even in
It's fucking fabulous, bro. Hate to swear, but my God, I get excited.
now with her I feel.
That's some dude.
So that's from a gig, Ocean Mist that we played a couple.
Nice
weeks ago.
place,
Yeah,
nice place. It's in the. You got to go down through the gauntlet to get to it, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like way out there, but it has tons of people to come to it.
Well, a lot of URI kids.
Yes.
Because it's close to URI.
Do you want me to? You mind if I show you and your?
Yeah,
beautiful-
fire it
you,
up.
You know,
She
you
told
know what
me.
I mean? It's like you gotta mention my name, and you did. That's awesome. Good
That's
for
my
you,
girlfriend
kids.
Shannon.
Is
yeah.
she a musician at all? She just loves
She
music.
likes music and dabbles a little bit, but I wouldn't describe her as a musician. No.
All right, that's another thing I noticed in your solo stuff that you play the harmonica and all that.
Yeah.
Is that in the that's in the band too, or is
Not as much. The harmonica's nice when you're
listen.
playing
Is this it
solo.
right here?
This song's called.
This is the song I used.
Oh, did you just play this? Or
Yeah, we can listen to it.
are you gonna play it? All right. Dude, that's so good, man. Congratulations, bro. That's good stuff, man. On the Spotify, where we
Go
go?
over to the band page.
All right, so what is the
So click-
band? All right,
go
can
up
I
a
get
little
to
bit.
it from up? All right, so I can get to it from there. Where is it? I
Go
can't see.
go back down to that to this one,
And then it'll have the name of it.
and then Apollo's Eclipse right there.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful. What do I do? All right, hit it. Is that it?
yeah.
All right,
yeah,
where do you
yeah.
want to go? Let's give him some love. All right,
We don't
so
have a lot of live clips on here.
all right,
Honestly.
but let's where's the name? Where's your name right there so we can get people? What's the handle?
Apollo's Eclipse. APPALAS.
All right, I'm gonna throw it on here anyway and tag it anyway. All right, so where you want to go here? Everywhere, Steve.
yeah, wherever you gotta go.
Anyway, you're playing kind of playing live.
We're playing. We got a show coming up at the Parlour on January 5th. So right after the new year, and we're gonna be playing a lot of songs off the new album. Got a lot of other great bands playing with us.
So we're gonna go through the band here, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
And you can mention their name if people can't see.
Sure,
right
sure.
There. So what happened here? There's
That's
the
our
drummer.
guy Brian.
Is that the drummer, or is he
Yeah,
just sitting
yeah.
there because he
No,
likes the drums?
That's it. That's Brian.
He gets the bat. Brian, you're welcome to come down when the band comes down, but you're gonna sit. Not that he's probably not gonna mind, but we can't give him drumsticks and nothing. He'll start hitting them. But
Yeah. It's
maybe
a
you can
small
all
area.
play live down here. I don't know if the drums will get picked up. I think the drums they might
no,
overpower
We
everything.
might get a little crazy.
I got a cajon box if you want to sit on that.
That will work. Yeah.
Oh, I
that
have a
will work.
cajon box.
Yeah. That will work.
And I definitely got all the little shit for it. So
Okay.
I'll bring that down. He can sit on it. He can sit next to me. I'll give him my seat.
All right. Don't get too
All
high
right,
on
so-
my now.
all
That's
right.
our guy Paul.
All right, let's get back to the. I think is that the guitar
That's
player?
Ethan, guitar
Alright.
player.
Ethan, and then that's Paul.
That's Paul,
the bass player, of
bassist,
course. And who else we got in there?
This was at our recording session for the new album that's coming out.
I'm just flashing through a bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah.
shit now. Because
Yeah,
God,
you got. Oh, actually, fire this one. Up. Yeah, that was a good night.
oh, this is cover.
Yeah, this is a cover. This is a cover.
Is that that's not at the Ocean Mist, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Fucking love that place.
Good spot.
Oh, dude, you're doing good, man. You got 3 things, or maybe 5. I don't know. You got the original band, you got the solo thing, and the cover band. So
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of a lot to.
is that
schedule,
all you do? Is a musician? Do you do you work or you?
Yeah.
Do?
So I have a part-time, well, no, full-time job actually, but we don't need to talk about that.
No, we don't have to talk.
We're
about the
we're
job,
off the clock.
but that's. I mean, you're doing it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How old are you? We didn't get to that thing.
28.
28. And how long have you been playing? Whatever. Everything.
I started playing piano seriously when I was about like 23. So
Inspirations as far as piano players and you know.
that was just an instrument that was on hand, you know, and I wanted to start making music, and the piano was there, so I just started playing it.
So there was no,
Actually, for influence on the piano, the first style I learned is like a Jerry Lee Lewis, you know, like old 50s rock and roll, like bam, 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 you know, that type of thing. So I would say him and Little Richard are some early influences.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless you, bro. You guys, I mean, everyone sounds great, from the original band to the cover band to you. I mean, I don't know how you're juggling it. Well, I'm juggling 5,000 things too, but you're playing out, you're on the stage and all that. As far as I don't want to put you on the spot. Which ones? But when you're on the stage, where's the most energy coming from? Is it? I mean, you would imagine the cover band probably gets more people there.
Yeah.
But where do you feel the most satisfaction? Is it when you're playing your own stuff, playing your originals, playing with your original band, or playing covers and having just everyone like fucking sing along to all that shit? Like,
well, that's a great question, because they're different feelings, right? Like, to be able to play a song that you wrote that people are not familiar with, and to have them be into it is an amazing feeling, right? But that's really hard, like you gotta write a good song and then play it well and have a good audience. That's always not always there. On the other hand, when it's just you and the guitar, it's a lot of pressure, and then you get into the flow and people are into it. That's another feeling as well, Or when you're singing some like party anthem and there's a bunch of people all like screaming with you. That's like a blackout,
and totally different crowds in there too.
Yeah.
'Cause when you're playing that acoustic solo gig, in between a set or in between a song or stuff, it's a little more intimate. You talk to people a little, relate to them a little more as far as. But when you're on stage with all those people in front of you, you're relating to kind of like
the crowd.
Everyone,
the
there's
masses,
a ton of people in there.
But you can really feel that energy of the room in both settings, You can feel the people kind of getting into the music and responding.
So when is your, all right, so you're busy. When is your next band gig, the original band gig? And you said you guys, got stuff coming out soon too.
Yeah, the next band gig with Apollo's Eclipse is on January 5th at the Parlour in Providence.
Okay, January 5th. That's a Friday night?
Yep.
Okay, that's going to be a busy weekend for me because the kids that were on last week, they're playing on the 7th at dusk.
Oh, okay.
That's Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come see you on Friday. I'll go see them on Sunday. So
right.
I definitely will. So I
should.
definitely went. I can't wait. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to check out the band. I'll take a little
involved,
video stuff. So that is that is right off the first show of the year.
Yeah.
So and then when is your solo gig as far as doing your acoustic and original stuff?
So the next acoustic gig is at the Newtowne Grill in Billerica or something like that.
Oh, Billerica.
Billerica, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's north of Boston, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it's like an hour from Providence. But yeah, I got connected with the guys looking for new people to come and play, and should be a fun gig. So if you got anyone up in,
I do have a bunch of people in that
Billerica.
way. I got a ton of fighters that I know that way.
yeah, just tell them to come by.
Yeah, definitely. I'll put all your dates up when I post this. Well, it's being posted now, but I actually have in the bio of where all these videos are going, it does have all your info and your next shows.
Oh, great.
And it also has your Spotify in it, but I have to add your band Spotify on there because
the band.
I thought it was all the same. I was like, I didn't know you were in fucking 20 different things. I'm like, but holy shit, good for you, my guy. Good for you. As far as you got a girlfriend and stuff. What do you do? Do you have any other kind of like hobbies other than music? Or is that all? That's all there's time for. Work and music.
I like to work out, because it just keeps me level. So that's the other hobby, is just exercise.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even on, you're getting exercise a little bit. Well, you're not running around like, Billy Joel and shit like that, but.
I think singing is aerobic in some
Oh,
ways.
yeah, it is.
I think
It is.
it definitely gets the blood flowing. And performing is an adrenaline rush, so that must burn some calories.
So out of all these, instruments, I mean, if you play guitar and piano, I feel that you can play anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have that ability. Like I think of Paul McCartney and musicians like that. Once they do, are you a drummer also? Like
I had a drum kit in my house for a
everyone
little
does.
bit.
He's probably fucking better, like 10 times better than me.
No, but the truth is that's the weak link. That's why I have the drum machine on deck when I'm recording, and I just kind of press play. But so my first instrument when I was a kid in the band was trombone, and I just got into the trombone again. And one of the songs I'm releasing on the 29th has me on the trombone. Yeah.
That's fabulous, my guy.
I got this plastic trombone online, and I was like, started messing around with it.
And then you just like now, you got a real trombone or like.
No,
or is it the plastic
but
one?
it sounds good.
So that's going on. I mean, you can make it sound.
Going on. I don't know if I'm ready to play it live yet, but.
Does it look like a trombone, or does it look like a plastic toy that you're playing? Like a little of both.
It sounds pretty legit.
But it looks a little. It's a
just
little
red.
gimmick.
Yeah, it does look. It looks
Well,
a little
that's cool.
gimmicky.
That's cool,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Harmonica. Like, am I saying that right?
Harmonica.
Harmonica.
Yeah.
Dude, you do it at all. As far as like things music, bands and musicians out there now who do you like? I mean, you're playing these cover bands and cover musics, but that doesn't necessarily mean you like that because you're playing to the people and what people want to hear out there.
Well,
but what are you into?
The truth is, when I do play a cover, it's very rare that I'm like, oh, this.
You don't like it.
You know what I mean? One, because I love a lot of different types of music. But two, we choose songs that we like, and that we think people will respond to. But as far as what I'm listening to on my Spotify, a lot of Stevie Wonder. I'll be honest, I have a guilty pleasure of pop radio, because I think it helps with the songwriting, to be able to get those hooks and get those melodies kind of internalized. And I listen to a lot of the same shit that I've been listening to for a while, so I need some music recommendations out here,
Well, rap samples. You can throw a little rap sample in there. I'm just kidding.
I used to listen to a lot of rap. Not so much anymore, but I like Nas, Lil Wayne. Used to listen to those guys a lot back in the day. And I think what's interesting is the music that now I really relate to, they use that as samples. So I'll hear like an old song and like a Lil Wayne beat or something. And then later I'll hear the song from like the 70s. I'm like, wait, that's like Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
song.
you're like, oh yeah, it's like, where'd that come? Like, shit, you didn't write that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And it's amazing how they can throw that in there and just like,
It's
you know,
cool.
sample it and make hits out of it, and it just fits. The stuff fits.
And it's just like the ever-flowing universe of music, you know. It's all cyclical.
To go back to your Spotify and your solo stuff, I'm gonna listen. I gotta listen to the band
Mm-hmm.
as far as the band, because you guys are gonna come back as far as the band down the line.
Sure.
So I'm gonna get familiar with that. But there was a couple of songs. All the songs were great. I have to say, I was listening to them. I worked before I came here. Like I'm working crazy at the post office, so I had your Spotify and I was listening to it. And there was one. All the songs were great, but there was one that was like the hook to the song. You were singing about singing other people's songs just to like kind of make money and stuff like that. I thought it was cool. I mean, you're telling. It was like you were it seemed like your story or
Drinks
sort
and
of
tips.
it. Drinking tips. It had a great. I liked the line. You know what I mean? To it. It sounded great.
Hey, why don't I play that one?
Why don't you friggin' play that then?
And I'll break out the harmonica for that one.
Oh, you got You got the harmonica with it.
I got the
This is
harmonica
fucking
on
great.
deck. Well, yeah, a little background to that song. It's about playing covers, right? It's about playing at cover shows. And, when I first got into this, the first couple gigs I got were, no payment really other than, drinks and a tip jar.
Yeah.
So you really got to learn to interact with the crowd and play songs that people like. And also just ask them for money, So I wrote this song to kind of prompt people to be more generous, and throw a dollar in the tank.
And we'll talk a little bit about your feelings writing this song as you were just doing. But I told you that a lot of you guys in your struggles trying to make money and trying to make it, it relates to what I've experienced with fighters,
Right.
struggling and trying to make it, and sacrificing. So we'll talk about that when you're done with this great song, man. But this one definitely stood out to me on your Spotify. So I'm gonna record you a little bit for while you're doing it. But go ahead, my man. It's all you.
All right, here's Drinks and Tips. Make my living on drinks and tips, playing other people's hits, yeah. Maybe one day they'll be playing mine. Until then, I'ma take it one day at a time. When people ask if I take requests, I tell them I just do my best. Play a tune that they all know. You'll see how quickly the time will go. Well, if you like what I've played so far, go ahead, drop a tip in my jar. I play for free, don't get me wrong, but let's keep it going, baby. One more song.
Wow, dude. That has a hook and a half to it. Like, all right, so I got like 9,000 questions there.
That's why you're a good host.
Oh my God. Like, dude. That sounds like a hit friggin' song right there. Now, the feedback you get, do you get like, I mean, I would imagine your girlfriend's like, but everyone around you, like, what's the feedback? I mean, I grew up as a musician. I think I got good taste on like what's good and what's bad, and as far as like, I hear no mistakes and no bad anything in what you're playing. You know what I mean? There's always something to critique. Sorry to blow the smoke up your ass, but that's good stuff, man. I'm totally into that shit.
Well, the thing
That's
is
good.
that a lot of it comes from the practice. A lot of it comes from the practice and pressure of live performing. Because you got to be locked in, and then once you get used to being in that mindset, you can kind of turn it on, and it's like, okay, now you're playing the song, and like everything else is kind of like fades out.
I'm like blown away, like right now, like from how good your voice is and how good the songs are.
Cheers, man.
Like my
Appreciate
God, yeah, man. God
Cheers.
bless, bro. God bless you, my man. I mean, you can go so many routes. I mean, it's
Well,
I mean,
to
you know what
answer
I
your
mean?
question, I want to, just be thankful for the people in my life that do support me.
Okay.
Because, it hasn't really always been. I'm his best. I'm the best that I've ever been right now. So it hasn't always been as good. And there are people who, who are not supportive. Normally strangers. But the ironic thing is they're as important to the journey as the people who do support you.
Yeah.
To be able to like have someone be like, yeah, like maybe that's not for you. We'll be like, all right, well, fuck you. You know what I
And
mean?
also, it really it drives you to make them like you,
Yeah.
or to win some of them over because
Right.
people might not like the song the first time around, but there's been some songs like that people didn't like it and they just stick to it and they keep hearing it and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It sticks
That's
to
the
them.
truth.
You know what I mean? It's not always like, oh, you know, you get someone behind you that keeps playing the songs, and we talked about that. There's a lot of people out there with great stuff that they never get heard. What I see that you have a following on Instagram as far as the band and stuff. How's their following? You mentioned that you do have a following that come watch
Yeah.
you and support you. How's all that going as far as the feedback and these people coming to check you out?
Well, people are into it, and the live show. If you bring the energy, and refine it to a certain point, then people will respond to what you're doing. But with that type of setup, when there's a lot of, there's a lot of moving parts. You got to be very methodical and precise with what you're doing, or else it can get a little out of control. And the line between, good and bad can be very thin, right? So you wanna stay north of that. But yeah, people are into it. People are coming to the shows. I think now the next step is we want to get the digital thing going, kind of ramp that up.
Now, when you say digital, you mean what? Like social media, getting more of your music in sites, or like where? I would imagine you can find your music everywhere at this point. Do you have, excuse me, like social medias that we can find you guys? Spotify's a big one.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube channel that you guys do any live stuff on and stuff like that?
Yeah. So all of our music is released on Spotify. We're coming out with a new album with the band. I've got some music coming out. So the most important thing that you can do for an artist is just, give them a couple minutes of your time, and that's the buy-in in this world that we live in. Is just we're all fighting for attention, right? And if you can give an artist a couple minutes of your time, listen to a song, throw them a follow, then that goes a long way to what they're trying to do.
Excellent. Well, a couple more questions before maybe you'll play one more song to end it, and I'll throw that at you. But we didn't talk about any like family things. Do you have any siblings like that are musicians? Anyone in your family that are musicians that you might have gotten this gift from?
Not really. I have a sister, Anna. Love her dearly. She's not really a musician though.
Sings in the shower and stuff like that.
Yeah. My dad, I think, has the gene, but he never really pursued it. I've been trying to get him into it a little bit. But no, I'm not really sure where it came from. But I remember even as a kid, getting songs stuck in my head, and I would just keep singing them to the extent where people around me would be like, all right, like enough And I remember singing like 99 Red Balloons, you know, that song like 99 Red Balloons, you know, like singing that to the babysitter, and she was like, enough, you know. But yeah, no, I'm just happy that it is where it is, you know.
Well, last question before I throw one more song for you to play. Another one from your Spotify that was really cool. Where do you see yourself, the band, the end of 2024? We're what, a week and a half away from that happening. You know, you guys are still young in your career as far as all together, and you know, you doing your solo stuff and you know, jumping on a guitar, and I mean, you sound. I swear to God. Where do you see the band, yourself, end of 2024?
Yeah, that's a great question. As far as the future, you know, I just want to keep releasing music. Hopefully get to play in some new places, get in front of some new people. The next step, I think, is, you know, we brushed on this briefly, but you know, the content and being able to create, you know, short clips that will capture people's attention, because that's the name of the game, and it's almost like, you know, if you have a great performance and then you don't have any video or like clips from it, it's like a tree falls in the forest. You know what I mean? So that's the next level, and that's how I think in this day and age, that's how you level up.
Do you have any friends in the field there that know, you know, a little bit about, you know, video production, or I mean, a lot of people are doing it themselves. Like, let me bring up the fighters again. These kids are marketing themselves. These kids are like got their second fight ever. They're amateurs, and they're making more money than the guys that have been at it for years just by marketing themselves, getting themselves, and it's with clips like you're talking about. Like, you guys are phenomenal, and if you could have somebody, or you guys could figure out, and I think you guys can, and I'm sure you'll tackle that and get it. You could do this shit on your phone. You know what I mean?
That's the reality. Yeah.
I mean, I have, you know, I use a little app on my phone that I cut up video, and like I'm gonna cut up your video tomorrow for friggin' Instagram through this app on the phone. So, and you can put so much shit there and make it look incredible. So it's there. You just and I'm sure you guys are gonna do it because you're talented with everything else you're doing, and definitely have ambition and drive. So congratulations, man. I love the stuff, bro.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate
fucking love it. I mean,
appreciate you having me on here. This has been a good time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing it. You know, at least have a musician on once a week. I got flooded with you know, interest. It's just now you have to weed out, you know, different. You know what I mean? Everyone else. You know.
I'm glad I made my way through.
Well, definitely, man. You know, and I'm glad you did too. You know what I mean? It's like I appreciate it. And you know, I did check out your stuff before you came on and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, this guy's legit, man. I didn't know you had like 3 other friggin' things going on too with the bands. But last thing I'm gonna ask you to do, and was one more song on the Spotify. You did a Christmas song.
Oh yeah.
Can you play the Christmas song to leave
Absolutely.
us off?
I'll play the Christmas song.
Yeah, that will do it, and I'll let you you know, leave off giving you know, whatever information you want to give as far as finding you guys when you're playing. It is on the you know it is on the info here, but
sure.
You know, I want you to do it so they can hear it on Spotify when I release this. So, go ahead, my man.
Yeah.
All you.
Well then, thanks again, Steve, for having me here. Follow me on Instagram, Spotify, whatever suits your fancy. And I wrote this Christmas song, a few weeks ago, and I thought I just had to get it out to the public, you know. It's called "Is It Christmas Yet?" Snow on the ground, the lights on the tree. They tell me that it's Christmas, but how could that be? My baby's far from home, got some presents on the way. Yeah, on the way. Is it Christmas? Yeah. Is it Christmas? Yeah. Is it Christmas? Yeah. Oh, I gotta know. All right, Merry Christmas,
My
everybody.
God, dude, so good, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, Steve.
That was good. I love this, doing this. I mean, you know, having you guys in here and performing. I appreciate you, man. So close from Christmas, coming in here and doing this. I'll definitely see you. I'll be coming to see you on the 5th. Definitely, you know, tag me in whatever you guys are doing. They'll go on my Facebook. I'm gonna be tagging you and throwing out some video from the show tonight, man. But man, congratulations on you know, the journey here, man. It's fucking good. I love the stuff, bro.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see the band. A little, you know, some, you know, heavy stuff. The cover band. I'll be, you know, I'm gonna be a groupie.
There's plenty of opportunities. You know, there's no shortage of gigs. So,
Anything you want to leave off with before I let you go? It's Christmas coming. You know, Shannon's out there.
hopefully Shannon's still watching. Yeah, love you, baby. No, I just want to thank you, really, Steve. You know, I appreciate people who really are taking the media and digital world into their own hands and being more active rather than just a consumer. And, you know, I'm trying to do that myself, and I see that you're doing it. So kudos to you, and, you know, blessings in the new year.
Excellent, my man. Well, I'll see you in the new year on the 5th, and then maybe a couple of weeks later, you can come down with the band. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And we can do some, you know, some acoustic stuff in here. Put your drummer on the spot over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
relate to him and stuff like that.
Well, he's got a heavy hand, so we'll
I
give
like
him the
that.
cajon.
I like that.
yeah.
So with that said, thank you so much for everyone out there for tuning in. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for coming on and you know, playing live. It sounded fabulous. And like I said, disclaimer here: it is not his fault if it didn't sound that great. It's all on me, the producer over here. Check him out on Spotify. He sounds great. I did put his Spotify channel on the stream. We will get his band Spotify up there also. But with that said, we will be back tomorrow with a couple of more guests, and then we got Christmas on Monday, and then we'll be back Tuesday and Wednesday of next week with a couple of comedians next week.
All right.
Next week is comedian week, so
Great.
I'm going to be splitting it up a little bit. But again, Benjamin, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Steve.
We out of here.